Two mega powers meeting here tonight.
The mega powers, brother.
The mega powers. Yeah. Mega powers, yeah.
Hello, wrestling fans. This is DJ Magic J with the one and only hip hop original Scanduce, and we are the Mega Powers TV, and we are on what episode? 16, 17?
I believe it's 16 now, I think.
Damn, we're rolling. We're rolling. Yeah, that's how we're rolling, man. And we got a wonderful guest. We had a little chinwag before we signed on properly, and he was saying that he loves what we're doing. And who have we got, Scanduce?
Yes, man. So we've got another wrestling enthusiast. He's a journalist. He's done some incredible work, like in wrestling and other sports. And it's definitely another like-minded, wrestling fan, and definitely a pleasure to have you on the show, bro. So, yes, man, officially, I'd like to introduce the one and only Del Chapo. Welcome to the Mega Powers, bro.
Thank you so much for having me on, guys. I'm here to talk some wrestling.
And we'll welcome in, and this is the Mega Powers TV from the iconic Macho Man and Hulk Hogan, or Hollywood Hogan. We have the iconic handshake. Welcome to the Mega Powers.
Yeah. Oh, bro, let's go. Wicked.
This is what I'm here for, man. This is what I'm here for.
So we're gonna get up to date and get into the meat and potatoes of what's been happening in the wrestling world. But the first question we always ask, Del, how did you find your way into wrestling, man? Where did it all start for you?
Right. Bit of a weird one for me. So my mom is actually the way I got into wrestling. So I'm not even talking WWE, I'm talking prior to WWE even being a thing. So I'm talking like the 70s and 80s. She would be watching like UK wrestling, and she was always like I mean from like 3, 4. Like I remember, like the only things I remember is that she put WWE on the TV and she left it there. Like, I'm a child, I'm like 5, 6 years old, but jumping around, seeing what's going on. Then the first wrestler I remember seeing and going nuts, Jeff Hardy. As soon as I saw Jeff Hardy flipping off some stuff, and I think, for me, it was the TLC match at Mania that kind of cemented for me that I was like, this isn't just a phase, man. This is a lifelong like passion of mine. When I see another guy jump across the ring in the middle of the air and take another guy out, that was me. It was like, if you're happy to put that level into your craft, I'm all ears and no eyes, man. That's it. I'm here to stay.
Wicked, man. So we're talking about Attitude Era, peak Jeff Hardy, tables, ladders, and chairs. I mean, was there a particular match around that time that really stood out to you, man, or you would say is your go-to match?
I always come back to the triple threat TLC match, man. That match for me, I think, as much as you're in an era where you've got some like people that went on to be greats, like we're talking your Rocks, your Stone Colds, your Triple H's. But to look at it from the other perspective, I would say that those triple threat matches opened the doors for a lot of people that we see today. Yeah. Before then, you wouldn't get a champion who was 5'9", 5'10". They had to be 6'5" plus. Everyone had to look like almost in a way, and in a sense, they had to be this big guy. And like for me, it was like, this guy is a lot smaller than everyone else, but he is just about throwing his body around this ring to make some hurt on people. And like, that's the thing for me. It's just like being the underdog. And I feel like that's when the underdog stories really started to come into effect. And in time, it transitioned into what we saw Daniel Bryan's moment at Mania.
Yeah, of course, man. And is it a thing that you followed it like consistently from then, or did you have like some stop and start moments, or?
I've had one stop for about 18 months, and I had a girlfriend at the time who just wasn't really into it at all, man. And that's the only time I've stopped, to be honest. Apart from that, I'm the guy that will, if I'm on the way to work on a Wednesday morning, I'm watching NXT. Like, right. I'm watching Level Up. I want to see who the next person is, because when I was watching the Attitude Era, you didn't have FCW and OVW and all these places on TV where these guys were sort of learning their craft. Whereas now we get to see the people who are next up kind of come into their own and kind of become, going from, say, a wrestler who's good on the good at the fundamentals to then bringing this character out, and you've seen it in the development of people from NXT, man.
Yeah. And have you been like?
Sorry,
Go
go
on,
on. No, I was gonna ask you what you say that you was a Hardy Boys fan, and you like Jeff Hardy, you like Matt. So what was one of the iconic matches for you when it came to the Hardy Boys?
Besides the TLC.
Do you know what was the one for me? Jeff Hardy and Undertaker, because I think that match, even as a young fan, I was looking into it like, I think this guy's sick. I think he's my favorite wrestler, but Undertaker is going to smack him up. And then the spots you had in the match was like, Jeff Hardy was coming across as the weaker guy, the underdog, but he managed to lose the match and still come away a winner in a way. And I feel like that for me was just like, he's lost the match, but the whole crowd's going nuts for him.
Right.
And I think that was when I was like, maybe it's not always about like, because when you're younger, if your guy don't win, you're annoyed, man. So would you mean he ain't gonna become WWE champion? And then after that was the night that Jeff won the world title, because I think for a long time before that, a lot of people were screaming for him to be world champion, and to win it in the way. And I feel, do you know what the best part of that whole match was? Whoever was on the camera work that night needed to pay rights, because they made sure Jeff Hardy was out of shot. They're facing the camera downwards, and then you just see this swanton of landed on Triple H's head, and that was always like, this is crazy.
Oh man. So as a question, man, what life lessons do you think you picked up from watching wrestling over the years?
Do you know what? Companionship in the right way and in the right people, not judging a book by its cover. Like, so many lessons that I would say, and just a prime example, I went out to Mania and I've worked across a number of sports. When I went out to Mania, when you work in, I don't want to name sports because bad mouth people, but in certain sports and the popular ones, you get a lot of people that don't want to put each other on. And it's almost like, what's the way to say it? It's more like, oh, this is what I do. Why do you want to come into this? Yeah. Whereas wrestling, everyone tries to put each other on. I met a lovely girl out there called Alex. Her name's, she goes by Queen of the Ring. If you have not checked us out, she's amazing as well. And you know what? It's just like, the thing that I love about wrestling is everyone from every different walk of life can have some sort of enjoyment in it. Whether you're, say, for me, I'm all about the high flyers, man. I want to see the crazy stuff, but I know that there's people who enjoy the powerhouses, and then obviously we're in an age now where women's wrestling has come. But I know we'll get onto it later, but that baby moment, you know what? I was gassed. And the thing is, if we're talking 10, 15 years ago, women wouldn't be having those moments. So it's just like, it gives you life lessons in the sense of don't judge a book by its cover. Like, look to your peers, but like guidance in a way, like not support, but like if you're someone who's creative, a lot of time I feel like people look for answers in the wrong way. It's just like surround yourself with good people, like-minded people, and you'll grow and you'll grow and you'll grow.
Yeah. No, I hear that, bro.
I was gonna ask you something. Since you are a presenter, and this is coming from the presenting side, because I'm a DJ. I've got, in a handful of years, I've got bored of just being a disc jockey, DJing in the clubs, DJing at events and stuff like that. I've mostly picked up the microphone and said, you know what, I want to go to events. I want to be in the background. I want to be the presenter. I want to be that go-to guy who I will run up to whoever, or run up to a celebrity or whatnot. You had the opportunity of, working with, the Zone and going to London Lions, and, and also you're a gamer. So, how does that fit into what you do in your day-to-day routine as a whole entertainer or whole personality, basically?
So the way in which, this is me giving you a background of how I got into content. So my undergraduate at university is in sports science. I was going to go into teaching. I realized in the nicest way, I won't be a good teacher, man. Kids are jarring sometimes. And that is just the real truth of it. And then I found myself at a crossroads, and I had to have a difficult conversation with my mum, because my mum is the type of person who always says to me, if you want something, you go for it. You don't ask no one's permission. Like if someone says no, you go and find the yes. And I feel like that is a lesson that she taught me from when I was a kid at school. Is she like, if a guy gives you trouble, I don't care if you come home with a slip saying you got detention. Don't be anyone's fault. And that was the best lesson that my mum had taught me. And that's how I got into content. Was I sat and I had a conversation with my mum. I was like, Mum, I don't want to go down to something. She goes, well, what do we need to do then? I said, well, I could learn how to do content. She was like, who's going to teach you? And I said, I don't really have the peace to go and pay someone thousands of pounds to go and teach me how to shoot on a camera, edit videos. So it was about, I'd say, a month after this, we went into the COVID-19 lockdown. And I spent the entirety of lockdown watching YouTube video on how to work cameras, how to edit audio.
YouTube University.
Yeah. And just along the way, it's like my first job was a graphics operator. That was my first job in sport media. So that's essentially like working on all of the advertisement graphics that you'd see on like the Champions League, the Premier League, things like that. And it was only then where I was like, I'm watching people present and I'm like, bro, I think I could do a better job. And I didn't want it to come across in a cocky way. I didn't want to come across as an arrogant guy, but I was like, I feel like they're holding back in a way. They're really like holding back. And I was like, for me, why, if I had the opportunity, I would want to present myself. I don't want to present in character as somebody that's not me.
Yes.
I heard that, bro. So just to double back to the wrestling quickly, you mentioned going to WrestleMania. So talk us through your first ever experience of watching wrestling in person, and how did that affect you?
I'll be honest, I was very lucky because I work with a great guy, very well-known sports journalist in the country, Alex McCarthy. He's someone who, if you want to learn, and he's someone who will really help you come a long way. So he gave me whilst we was out there, he was saying to me, let's shoot some video together, let's do this. He sent me down to the press conference, and I remember picking up the microphone at the press conference at Mania and Money in the Bank was two completely different things. When I was at Mania, my legs were shaking. And then when I picked up the mic the next time, I spoke to Cody. I think it's Cody Rhodes first. And he comes out and I asked him, I was like, how do you feel like your momentum's recovered from Mania? 2 days later, he was talking about it on Raw. And I was like, what the? That was the moment where it hit home. And I was like, what? Like, just as much as our jobs as the creators, as the journalists, we can almost be that bridge between the fan and the product. So watching wrestling live, it was like, you don't realize how crazy people go for this stuff, man, like you, because you go to these events, whether it's Mania, Money in the Bank, even if it's a WWE live or it's AEW, it's all it's this, it's that, you'll meet people with the same mindset. And I think that is what I love about wrestling as a whole. That is how I met Skillet. That's how I'm like, one of the, like, someone who I will speak so highly of is, the thing that I learned about wrestling, it enables you to build relationships with people in a completely different way than you would if you were in a pub somewhere. Like, I'll be honest, if you were sat in a pub somewhere, you're not going to hear a guy scream at the back, be like, maybe best win the Royal Rumble. You're not going to hear a guy say that. You'll hear a guy talk about his football team. Whereas, like, when you're at a wrestling event and you meet like-minded people, you're like, oh, what's your favorite match, man? Oh, what's this? What's that? Oh, no, I hate. Like, we have a wrestling group chat called the Bullet Club, right? And there was a guy in there who said we have a thing, a 3-strike rule. Is you like, not that you'll get booted out of the chat, but you will get ridiculed. And there was a guy in there who said that Bailey was a bland wrestler. And boy, I did not want to have his Sunday, because that was my exact reaction, bro. That was my exact reaction. And we were just there like, what the hell? Like, and that is what I love, is no one has a right or wrong answer. And anyone can say whatever they like, but it's just about having those conversations with people, man. It's like, for me, I was one of the first people to be behind Dom Mysterio. Everyone's like to me, I hate that guy so much. And I'm like, no, they're building something great with him, man. Just wait. Yeah, just wait. Yeah.
That's what I was saying for a very long time, because everyone was against Dom, you get what I'm saying, and the Judgment Day. But I was like, you know what? I like what the Judgment Day are doing. I loved it, because I'm a sucker for bad guys. You know what I mean? So I'd love it. I was gonna ask you, right? You mentioned something about, you know, presenting, and you said you
Yeah.
can do this. What do you think about popular YouTubers, you know, like the KSIs, what's the other one again? The
Logan,
rapper who does huh?
Logan Paul?
No, the rapper who does it, the big one, big light skin one who does presenting. I forgot his name now. Like, what do you think about all these YouTubers from the UK who don't really have no presentation skills? They're just being whoever the fuck they want to be, which is themselves, getting into top roles in being a presenter. And you know, because for me, I came from the hard way, innit? I came from just like you, like not really. I came from the other side, from the mid 90s, early 2000s, listening to radio, watching Rap City, you know, Young TV Raps,
Yeah.
watching, you know, all those TV shows, watching how
Channel U back in the day, man.
yeah, watching how they do the editing in the music video, not music videos, but interview videos when they'll probably might go to a pool club, or next thing they'll see them in some clothing store interviewing. You know, what do you say about, you know, those guys who really put their heart and soul in being a presenter, and then YouTubers come out of nowhere, you know, got millions of views and stuff like that, and taking the jobs that we basically strive and hustle to do for years.
I think you could look at it in the same way, in the sense of how Logan Paul's gone into WWE.
Mm.
You have to look at it because WWE looked at that from a business perspective.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get someone to present who's got 5,000 followers,
mm-hmm.
or you can get someone to present who's got 50 or 100,000 followers,
mm-hmm.
companies don't look at us as people. You'll be looked at as a number and as data. And they'll look at, say, your social following, your traction, all of these things come into play. Mm-hmm. Whereas I do agree, I do feel like a lot of presenters are losing opportunities. But in the same sense, it makes me happy to be on things like this where we can have a chance to have a conversation. Because if I'm talking about one like 5 years ago, I wouldn't have even got on a podcast. I wouldn't say I was too scared. I was too nervous. I was always worried so much about what people thought of me. And I feel like the reason that a lot of those guys do well is because they've got to the point now where they don't need to care what people think about them. They don't they can do the presenting. They don't need to care. And the thing, when you have that ease of mind, and for me, it's just like, if I'm presenting, you're almost double checking what you're saying, because you don't want to say the wrong thing, because one word or one sentence wrong, you could end up losing a lot of opportunities. And for those guys, man, if they lose an opportunity presenting, they're going to go back to YouTube and make millions of pounds anyway.
Yeah, 100%, man. So talk us through the moment where you went from just being a fan of wrestling to kind of going through that forbidden door, and you know, getting into what goes on behind the scenes, and wanting to be more involved with everything else other than just sitting and watching the entertainment.
For me, I didn't really realize that there was opportunities out there. I'll be honest. Man, I was like, if someone said to me growing up that you can go and you can make YouTube videos about wrestling and you can make money from it, I'll be like, what? I would never have gone to university. I would have just gone full head of steam with that. But almost in a way, I've enjoyed my journey in the same sense of each achievement's really nice, in a sense of, for me, like, I'm from Southeast London. That if you told me as a child, like, I remember being a youth and saying to my mum, I'm gonna go to Mania one day. I'm gonna go to Mania, and she used to look at me and be like, all right, cool, because she looked at the prices. She was like, I can't pay for you to go, mate. And I remember, like, as soon as the opportunity arose, I was like, you have to take advantage of things. But the biggest thing for me was Money in the Bank, man. Money in the Bank and WrestleMania in two different ways. Like, WrestleMania, because it's but Money in the Bank is like being from Southeast, being in an SE postcode, watching Money in the Bank in your hometown. That's priceless. You can't put a price on that, man. Because I came out there and all of the faces that I saw was like, it reminded me about why I love wrestling. And it made me more hungry to do the content and to interview and to present because, man, you come out and you see these guys, they're hyped, man, they're shaking, like red face. Oh my God. Oh, I thought I didn't know I was going to do it. What do you mean, priest, man? Oh, the blood. Do you know what I mean? Like coming out of events like that. And that's what really reminded me about the love for everything, man. And that was it. And when I wouldn't call it the forbidden door, man, because I feel like even the people you meet that do media side of things, they are just big wrestling fans like the rest of us, man.
Yeah.
They are crazy for it. Like
Yeah.
Alex, the girl I was talking about earlier, she does Twitch and she watches the Total Bellas and she watches this show and she watches New Japan and like she does watches stuff with AEW. She'll play Fight Forever, and it's like, yes, that is the level of what everyone wants to be at because she's just enjoying her love for wrestling and able to make a full enjoyment of it. I think that's what we all strive for, man.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of just reminds us of our childhood, man. And just, the people that I guess age gracefully are the ones that still act like big kids, you know what I mean? And it's, and wrestling's kind of that, like for a lot of us, And I mean, obviously, since going to Money in the Bank, because I was there too, what is it, right, about the UK fans that make us the best fans around the whole world?
It's easy, man. Heart and passion, bro. Do you know what it is? Every single person in that arena was a fan of another sport in some type of way. And this is the way in which I thought about it, right? Is you put that many Londoners under one roof, man. Yeah, imagine someone they just split the arena and say half Tottenham, half Arsenal. Yeah, and they were like shout at the top of your lungs for 90 minutes at each other. They just had that because you had people like, prime example, you go onto Twitter, oh, I'm so bored of Roman Reigns. Oh, the bloodline's roaring. Every single arena, the ones are up, man. Like every single person, one's up. That is the beauty of it. It's no one has to do this or do that, or you have to believe this. It's the UK fans. You saw at the weekend how nasty it can get in the sense. If you're at football, for example, like the stuff at Wolves is horrible, man. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. But to take people with that much passion, you put them into a wrestling environment where they're going to have a lot of fun with it, man. And I think that's the beautiful thing. Is Money in the Bank, it just felt like an arena of people appreciating it and enjoying it. Yeah. And I feel like sometimes if you go to like a football match now, it's all corporate boxes, it's all business, and everyone's satisfied that you went to a football stadium, it's quiet. Whereas I could, from the moment I got out of Greenwich Station, you felt that it was Money in the Bank, man.
Yeah. No, 100%, man. And we saw some of the photos, man. So you got to meet some of the wrestlers. What was that like?
Bro, like I said to you, like I am very lucky in the sense of the people I work with, and they've given me some great opportunities. But bro, the wild one for me was being being a Mania. You see Edge, right? Sorry, Adam Copeland. Now I'm not allowed to say his name. But it was just, seeing those guys reminded me, and it just cemented for me. So it's like, no matter how successful you get in life, you stay humble and you give time to people. These guys are sat there eating dinner with their family. A young kid is scared, like shaking, trying to come over and get 3 words out of them and a quick picture. They never say no. They never turn people away. And I feel like that's why be that successful? Why have that level of stardom if you can't bring at least some bit of joy to people, man? And that's what I will always stand by. Is when you see people like, the Usos is another great, like Montez Ford. These are people that I saw numerous times giving people the time of day, and I think it's a lot in the wrestling community, man. It's like by us having conversations over Instagram, and I think that's the most important thing about this is just having good conversation with good people, and I'll always stand by that. The possibilities are endless when that's there.
Yeah. So do you think wrestlers on a whole nowadays, or even in the past, is more easier to approach than any other sports entertainment, people from
Hands
like
down.
all American football, basketball, or even
Bro,
musicians.
I would say that wrestlers are good people, man. Like, I haven't had a bad interaction with one. A prime example, right, is I've been to places where wrestlers are interviewing all day, man. Like, like you guys are not as presenters and people working media. Sometimes these media days, they're long, man. They're there for like 5 hours, just being asked the same questions over and over again. But they don't let their smile go, man. You would think that you're the only person in the room that matters when you're having a conversation with these people. That is what it's about. Is don't make anyone feel like they don't belong. You make people feel like they do belong. And that's the lesson you got to always bring to people, man. For me, it's like I'm still very new to this, but the people who have helped me, they've really helped put me on in a way, man. And I feel like that's my only duty now, is to help. If I meet someone who could potentially, if I could help them in the type of way to give them that boost in confidence to go on to do great things, I'd do it, man.
Man,
If you had to be a wrestler and you had an opportunity to get a contract with, even the top brands, what would be your wrestling name? What type of theme music would you have on an outfit, and what would be your finishing move?
Oh, right. I've got to go, bro. The thing that's annoying, right, is this is gonna sound like such a cliche answer, but Many Men, bro, is. Do you know what really cemented it for me, bro? The Guns entrance with Many Men. I was like, that is the most different way I've seen that song spun in. Like, that was a lot, but I'd have to come out to some UK rap. Like, I'd have to stay loyal to home in it. So I'd probably come out to, bro. It'd have to be gigs, man. I'm like, it wouldn't be talking the hardest. It's got to be a gig show, but see, this is what happens when you ask me a music question. Now my brain's going, man. Right. All right. Entrance song would be "Big for Your Boots" by Stormzy.
Okay.
Just because from a business perspective, that will get clicks, man. As soon as you come out to that song, it'll cost bare money to get the rights, so WWE needs to be paying that money. I'd come out, and I think London City would have to be on, like, as my movie, bro. Like, it'd have to be something London themed. And my outfit would just have to be. Again, I think you have to, like, for me, I'd try and stay as loyal to myself as possible, because I feel like that's something which is really important to me, is staying as loyal to yourself as you can. So I'd come out. I wouldn't come out in my Crocs, but I'd say I'd come out that. Personally, I think the Jey Uso stuff, man, it's just him, combats, fresh crepes, he's calm. Like, he's ready to go road at any opportunity.
You have to be comfortable, right?
Love that, man.
Bro, he's someone who, over the past year, I'd say, like, I was a big Jey Uso fan before, but over the past year, boy, leveled up.
Leveled up big time, bro. Love that, man. And what are we going with for the finishing move?
I'd call it the London Dungeon, innit? That's what it'd have to be called. Yeah. And it'd have to be a submission type move, bro.
Yeah.
I'm feeling, yeah. Maybe like a crossface. Maybe like a crossface. Yeah, bro.
London Dungeon.
So we saw some pictures of you with LA Knight, man. So what was it like to meet LA Knight, man?
Bro, for me, I was such that behind his hype. You probably, if you look back at Money in the Bank, me throwing up gang signs when he was walking out of Money in the Bank. But do you know what? My friend Alex, that he was interviewing LA Knight, and you know what was really, again, if I come into it, he took time to say hello to his kids and kind of be just that humble human being. And I feel like that's the most, like, because when you meet people and they act that type of way, it almost like when I next see him, I'm like, give this guy the title, man. Like, because you're like you meet the person away the from the product, which is all nice. But then in the same sense, it's like, but it was surreal for me. Like again, I'll go back to it. Like I come from Southeast, man. Opportunities like this don't happen to people like me, and that was the thing that hit home when I was in LA. It was my last night. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm eating wings in my hotel room. The most hood thing I've heard. But it was like I looked out and it was just like, but I don't want to say I got emotionally in an upset way, but it was like I felt a feeling come over me. I was like, oh my god, this is crazy, man. Like this is mad for me. And I think that is it, man. It's just that. Just keep your feet on the ground and enjoy every moment. And then, bro, like, for theory, off camera, nicest guy on planet Earth, man. Slapped me at WWE 2K as well.
Wicked. Love that, man. So now we're in 2024, man. I mean, what would you say the future holds for you, like in terms of your wrestling journalism, man? Where do you see it going, or where would you like it to go?
To be honest with you, and I feel like I turned 30 a couple of weeks ago. So I think this year for me is just about growth, but self-growth in a way. It's not about getting the biggest opportunities, but it's about having conversations like this, meeting like-minded people, and kind of developing myself in a way where I'm at peace, if that makes sense. Like being at one with what I'm good at, what I need to work on, because those are difficult conversations you have to have with yourself. All I want by the end of the year, yeah, is Brock Lesnar versus Dom Mysterio. That would make me happy. That would make me happy, bro.
He's gonna come back. You think Triple H is gonna sign him back?
You know, I've heard in the grapevine it was meant to be Dom versus Brock at Chamber, and then Chamber was meant to be Brock's last.
That's a joke.
Wow.
Bro, can you imagine the pop that Brock would get by throwing Dom Mysterio around 15 minutes? Would be wild.
Yeah.
But you know what? Nick is getting better week after week, and he seems like he's getting stronger because even in what do you call it, Royal Rumble, he done extremely well apart from getting dashed out later on, but he held it for a long time. So what do you think about his come up?
It was that Dom, did you say? Sorry, you broke up a little bit, man.
Yeah.
His cup, like, he is a prime example. Two people I look at in this category of almost like Vanilla Hills, me and my friends call them, where it's just one-dimensional. It's big smiles and jolly, like the Bailey Hugger and Dom Mysterio, bro. Before he wasn't Dom, he was Ray's son, and I feel like now he's really coming to his own. But the stuff with Rhea, bro, the stuff with Rhea has just been, oh my god! Like, I don't think anyone could have predicted how well it's done. But like a lot of people say that they like have to play booze into a arena. I don't believe it, man. Like he has booed a lot. But then people now are growing around towards loving him, so it's a good thing to see, man.
Yeah, no, true. That's 100%, bro. And I know there's WWE's branching out this year. There's a few, like there's a Berlin show, a Paris show. Obviously, they're in the UK. Are you gonna be looking to hit some of those shows as well?
Yeah, I'm gonna try hit both the European ones. Unfortunately, my mum's not been well, so like Mania, Chamber, probably like not gonna happen. But I really want to go to the European shows because I feel like we've seen with superstars such as Gunther, there's unbelievable talent coming from this side of the pond, man. It's just about them getting their chance to shine. And I think, and on that subject, I'm just glad Pete Dunne's got his name back because that Butch stuff started to really do my head in.
Wicked, man. So would you say, obviously at the beginning you said you're a Jeff Hardy fan. Did you manage to follow him into TNA and AEW as well?
Sadly, yes, man. Sadly, yes, because they say like there's always they say don't meet your heroes, yeah. The best thing is don't watch your heroes forever because, bro, it's been tough to watch because it's almost like he's trying to wrestle in the same way that he was 15 years ago, and his body just ain't up for it, man. Like, these are like 45-year-old men where they're trying to like throw themselves around like they're 20 years old. It's just like, Jeff, this ain't the TLC with W's anymore, man. Like, really.
See, Jeff can hold it, but it's Matt with his broke up leg. Like, he needs to sit down now and probably be a manager or be one of those managers who beats up people. You know what I mean? Because I think Jeff still got it, but it's Matt. Matt is a bit slow.
Yeah. Well, no, Jeff slowed down a lot, man. So this Saturday, what some people might call the event of the year, you know, we had the Royal Rumble, and you know, we're gonna do a quick review of it, man. I mean, I'm gonna ask you, Del, do you feel the Royal Rumble lived up to the hype for you?
Nah, sorry, bro. Not straight up.
Yeah.
The women's,
I know
I thought it was unbelievable.
Mm.
I think the women's was so good, bro. I feel like a lot of people have been annoyed at the way Jade Cargill hasn't been really shown, but the way in which he came out of the Rumble, I think it proved to everyone that the way they've been building her has been right. It looks like they're building to that match with Bianca and Mania, but the pop they had when they were in the ring together, boy,
Yeah.
I had goosebumps. The thing what it was that I'm someone who we're all people of color. To see two women of color in the middle of the ring get that pop, like, if we're talking 10 years ago, it was hard to get a women's match in the last hour of the show. Whereas now, the women's Royal Rumble, like, I feel like it set the men's up to foul in a way because it was that good. Like, I feel like the thing that annoyed me the most was the Pat McAfee stuff, man. I'm such a big Pat McAfee fan, but it just, I think he's really good on the commentary team, but I just feel like that's a spot that's wasted for someone else.
Yeah.
Like, that even just to call, like, for example, I am the biggest Trick Williams fan going, yeah. Get him in that, bro. Can you imagine the whoop that Trick and he's walking out of the Rumble? Crazy.
Yeah.
Bro, we was saying that. We was literally saying that when we watched it in Box Park Wembley, and I was like, Trick Williams needs to come down, because once that music hit and that bass line, I know everyone's gonna be like, whoop that Trick, You know what I'm saying? You know, but you know what? The highlight for me definitely was, what's his name? Came down to the women's Royal Rumble.
The thing is, even with those
came running down, everyone's like, bro, what are you doing?
Do you know what's crazy for me, right? Is Kofi Kingston's found this art of like trying to keep himself from getting eliminated, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember Truth come out? He pulled the ladder out. He tried to go up the ladder, and he's like, "My bad."
Yeah. The bro's up there.
Yeah. He had two spots in the Mania. He had two spots in the Rumble where it's like he's gone from the women's Rumble in which he's gone in, ended up getting eliminated pretty much. And then in the men's Rumble, he had that moment with JD as well, which I like, bro. I feel like what he's been doing with the Judgment Day has been, and like the whole Tom and Nick Mysterio, like, bro.
It took me a minute to clock that, you know. I was like, Tom and Nick, and then it hit me as like, oh, Dominic, but he pronounces it Tom and Nick.
But the thing is, it's just like, this guy is just like, he's reinvented himself. Like, I was explaining to my body, I was like, he was a good heel, you know. He was like, shut up. I was like, bro, he was a good heel. Like, there was a moment him and Miz were like the top heels in the company. He was like, no. I was like, let me take you on a lesson, bro. Let me pull up a lesson for you. But like, that for me is just like, he's the prime example of, you give someone a spot and they can make something of it. Whereas I feel like the Pat McAfee stuff, that's a spot wasted that could have gone. Like, I don't care if he gets in the ring and gets thrown out within 2 seconds. Don't eliminate yourself. Like, that's the stuff that annoyed me. That was a bit of a set. I think that could have, like, personally, if I'm on the roster at that point, I would have been annoyed.
Yeah. Because apparently there was like about 10 wrestlers on standby. Like, they had Otis, Chad Gable, they had the who's the other?
Like Chad Gable's one. He like, why has he not got space? Like that.
They're taking a pussy over blood. I'm being real, because there's a lot of wrestlers what should have took a lot of spaces of wrestlers what shouldn't have even been in the rundown to come out and in the Royal Rumble. You know what I mean? I feel so why? Why? Like you ain't done nothing. You ain't hardly done nothing. So why the fuck are you there? Even what you said firstly about Trick. Trick should have been fucking there. Simple. He should have been there. But it's like, okay, they know what
I
they
feel
do.
like Melo should have been in longer as well. I feel like the thing for me,
Melo was a good sportsman. If you saw when he got through out here, so a couple of people put out their hands at the the crowd,
Yeah.
and he hit their hand and smiled at them. Like, if you never saw it, go back and you can watch that. So yes, he should have been in there longer. Pat McAfee should have been in the ring. If he did, it will be going back like what Jerry Lawler done when they called his name to the ring and he jumped in, he done his thing, didn't got kicked out. They went back and commentated. But Pat McAfee to me was a waste of space. He's a good entertainer. He's a good ex-NFL player, but at the end of the day, brother, like
you're not a wrestler.
wrestler. But you know what it is though? I think in their defense, I would have to say, Royal Rumbles must be the hardest match to book. Like there's so many variables, man. You got to book the order going in, the order going out, the interactions, the potential storylines, the surprises, and you got to book it to perfection because there's always going to be somebody shitting on it. Like, so it's
the thing for me, bro. The men's started off perfect. Yeah, Jay's reaction when he heard his brother's theme song here. Do you know what I mean? Like that is the perfect foundation where, look, you've now built them. That's going to start to build until that Mania match happens. That's got to happen. I feel like, bro, I think Gunther is the best thing since sliced bread, man. Like the guy has cut his shape down. Before he had the IC title run, if I said to you, most wrestling fans, name me the last 3 Intercontinental champions before Gunther, most people wouldn't be able to do it. I personally wouldn't be able to do it off the top of my head. But now he's brought a lot of pride and a lot of he's lift. Yeah, man. It's just like I think Seth spoke about it before. It's just like the prestige isn't holding the title. It's just like it's about the matches you have. For me, the triple threat at Mania with him, McIntyre, and Sheamus on one of the best matches I've seen. It like I know everyone jokes about the big meaty men slapping meat, yeah, but that was it. Like that was it. Where it's just like these are just like hitting each other. Like Sheamus come away, he looked like he'd had a fake tambour. He was red. The guy was red, isn't it?
Wow.
So what do you think about the fatal 4-way? Roman Reigns.
I think it has a good few spots. I like people getting annoyed that like, what did they want to happen? Like Roman's a heel, he's not going to win clean. It doesn't work like that. The only time that's happened is when he stacked Edge and Bryan at Mania, but that was that was needed to sort of elevate him into the tribal chief that we have today. So as much as people get annoyed, I was like, what did you really expect? What did you want? Like the club to come out and save AJ Styles, or like it was never going to be. I think regardless of the outcome, however you would have played it, people would have picked something they would have hated about that fatal 4-way. I thought there was some really good spots, like the Randy RKO spot, the bit where LA Knight nearly won the title. Like they're all like great spots. And the thing is that you had 4 people with 4 different styles of wrestling in the ring at one time, which I think that's what made it. Is by the way, yeah. Randy Orton ain't lost a step, man. He's fake. Like you should not be able to wrestle like that. Coming back from the injury he has as well, I think he was talking about like Cody said in the presser afterwards about he just wants to become a 1-time champion, and Randy's talking about becoming a 20-time champion.
Yeah, 15.
Like he's got that hunger back. As soon as he's come back, he's got a hand off it. That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
What do you think Roman's going to say in the up and coming SmackDown about what happened on Saturday?
I personally, I feel like this. So he's going to come back Friday, right? And then I think he'll disappear until post Chamber. So that'd be a month. Yeah. So I think it'll be 3 weeks. He'll be gone. So I think he'll come. He'll say that there's no one left for him to wrestle, and then I think he'll say something about Jimmy putting pride back on the family's name. That's when they're going. I think because I feel like the only thing they can if they start building him and Cody now, it's going to get stale by the time they get to Mania. Whereas I feel like he'll say something, Cody will come out, they'll have a bit of back and forth, there'll be a tag match. Jimmy and Solo will end up on Raw magically, even though they're not on Raw. They'll have a tag match. That's how it's all going to play. It's all. I think the next month is about building the Jimmy and Jay stuff. I don't think Roman's going to have much to do until Mania now.
Yeah, yeah. And do you think he's going to retain at Mania, or do you think it's time to take the title off him now?
Bro, I was in the building when he won at 39. I don't want to even see what the building would be like if he lost at 40, bro.
Oh, if he lost at 40?
Like if Cody lost at 40, oh my God. I was in shock, man. I feel like it was written in the stars a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But then the thing is, the year that we've had afterwards, the Jimmy and Jay stuff, like Jimmy has gone on to do great things. I feel like it's built Cody in a way as well. I feel like it's slowly started to develop Solo into kind of like, they say he's the heir to the tribal chief and blah, 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 blah. Bro, I can't wait till he turns on Roman. I cannot wait for the day he turns on Roman. I feel like it's Solo's time a little bit to kind of start doing his own thing. And I felt that would be my only, my issue wouldn't be with Roman continuing to be champion. My issue would be with, the Solo really need to be there all the time and let him do his own thing. Like the guy's he's just spiking people for fun now. Like, the thing I will say, I was impressed with Logan Paul again. I don't think I've seen a guy have a bad match, and it annoys me to say because most people want to hate him, but you can't, man. Do you know what the thing for me? I love the quote they say, never try superplex Kevin Owens. Yeah, it's the thing that they keep doing. The thing is that, sorry, go on.
No. Finish off.
I like Kevin Owens for me is just like he's the epitome of what it would be. He is a wrestling fan that's turned into a wrestler. And I feel like, and you can just tell that he loves it. He likes it. Like you see that in the stuff that he do with Waller and Theory. I think next year, I think Waller's one of the people. I think he's gonna have a massive year. Man, like Kevin Owens isn't about Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens, I think like I think so many people have said it before, where they speak about people that put them on and that helps develop them. Like Kevin Owens, just for me, is when he has a match with a Logan Paul, he should wipe the floor with Logan Paul in the sense of, but when he's in that ring, Kevin Owens he's gonna make magic, man.
On Saturday, I saw a different Kevin Owens. I saw the Kevin Owens from Ring of Honor, the Kevin Steele. Gavin, okay, it was a cheat. Okay, he took up the brass knuckles. It was not his fault. But I saw a different Kevin Owens, and that's what you said. The passion. I mean, he's what you call a wrestler's best friend. Like he really wants to be that wrestler to show the world that look, this is what wrestling's about. Look, I'm a fat guy with slim legs, but I'm a wrestler. I got that teddy bear belly. But the thing about he's just the passion that he got. I would love to just know what's in his brain, like one day, like if any of us get the opportunity to interview him, because he's like, I can't wait for someone to really sit down with him away from wrestling and just talk to him and just pick his brain, because he's really iconic.
The thing for me, I can't wait till he turns heel now, I feel like the reason is two things. I feel like if you have him and Sami again, I feel like it's a completely different Sami Zayn. It's a completely different KO. I feel like the people that go into that match are different.
Yeah.
The passion I think we can all admit at one point Kevin Owens looked bored in WWE. Kevin Owens doesn't look bored now. And I feel like he's put so many people on there, so much magic that could happen with him and Sami storyline. Like I thought Kevin Owens was coming out of the Rumble. I thought Kevin Owens was going to snake. I thought Sami was going to eliminate Kevin, and Kevin was going to turn on Sami. That's the way in which I personally would have booked it.
Yeah.
I'm not a booker, bro. This
Yeah.
ain't my job. It's like you said, the Royal Rumble is hard to book, but there was a few different things like that, and I feel like there was more of those instances in the men's Rumble than the women's. Like a lot of the stuff that we thought, or I don't want to say anticipated to happen, but the things that would make sense happened in the women's Rumble. Like bro, Jordan Grace's wife.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really nice surprise, man. She's a great wrestler, and the spot with Bianca looked, bro, that looked like it hurt.
Yeah, but it's memorable though. We're not forgetting that, man. You know?
Yeah.
Right. But was you shocked by the outcome of the men's rumble? Was you fully on board with Punk winning?
I didn't want Punk to win.
Oh, okay.
I don't think Punk needed to win. Punk's this guy who plays on the I'll just fight until I get my chance, and I'll fight and I'll get the title. If you have someone like that come in, win the Rumble, go to Mania, win the title, what build have you got for CM Punk becoming world champion at that point? I've seen there's rumors flying around he's injured again.
Yeah,
He hurt his triceps. So you've got to do your dips in the gym, man. You've got to do them dips in the gym.
So we had the reemergence of Liv Morgan, Andrade, and Naomi. What do you think about Triple H bringing? Well, obviously Liv Morgan's always been there, but what do you think about Triple H bringing Andrade back, Naomi?
I feel there were two good decisions for people to bring back, man. Did you see how she come back to the same number as her husband as well, which was bare nice? So Naomi and Jimmy both come out number 2 in the Rumble. Her reaction as well, you could see she was holding back tears.
Welcome back. And she looked like she wanted to cry, like she put her hands on her eyes. And I just saw it even when I saw the interview after on Twitter X, and she just looked like she just wanted to break down, and she just felt like I could look in her face and look in her eyes and say she feels more at home here.
Yeah,
but you know what it was? It's the way she went away.
It's
the way she left. Obviously, I feel like people were probably expecting Sasha Banks to be at the Rumble, but I feel like it would personally. I feel like if she's coming to WWE, I feel like it would be too early to debut her. I feel like there's. You want to hear how I would book it, guys? You want to hear how I would book this, right?
Go for it.
So, Damage Control, right? They're like, oh, Bailey, you're facing Rhea, yeah? You're facing Rhea, yeah? Then she gets smacked about, taken off TV. Bailey comes back, yeah? Everyone thinks Bailey's on her own. Bailey comes back at the Chamber with Sasha Banks, yeah? Or you have Sasha return at the Rumble to help Bailey win the title. They're the only two options. There has to if you insert Sasha Banks into that storyline, there's your money maker right there.
You have a long history as friends and as competitors.
Yeah. That's dope, man. So Del, when do you think we're gonna get Roman versus Rock?
Hey,
I think that's. I'll tell you a story, right? So one of the guys I went to uni with, Chanel, bro, one of my closest friends from over the years, right? Now, the way in which we met, we did security together at uni, but turns out that we're both the biggest wrestling fans ever. He was out in Detroit with work randomly, and he saw SmackDown tickets in the heavens. Buys a ticket. He goes to me, bro, I'm going to SmackDown tonight. And I remember messaging him maybe 10 o'clock. Yo, bro, enjoy. Have a good one. Went to sleep. I woke up. Bro, I must have had 100 notifications on my phone from Insta, Twitter, whatever. And I literally just pick up. He was literally, I look, and it's just like The Rock returns at SmackDown X, and it was the first thing at the top of my phone. And I go to call him. He's like, bro, I ain't slept since last night.
Wow.
But that's what it's about, man. It's just like he went to a random wrestling show, saw The Rock, but I feel like if you were to just have Rock beat Roman for the title, I feel like Rock versus Roman doesn't need the title. I feel like Cody now needs to, sorry to say it, finish the story. I feel like he needs the title. Another thing, I feel Seth and CM Punk, even though it does, if someone said to me, would you have Gunther take the title from Seth before Mania? I don't think that CM Punk and Seth Rollins necessarily needs a world title to make that match.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like they can wait. Like the Roman and Rock stuff, bro, they'll build it till 41. I know it's like GTA 6, man. They got us where they want us, man.
Yeah, yeah. No, I hear that, bro. I hear that, man. Damn, that's definitely something to look forward to, man. So I guess you're looking forward to Mania 40. Is that something you're gonna try and see in? Oh no, you said you can't. So
Yeah.
yeah, man. I mean, boy, there's a lot of hype to live up to, man. And you know, do you feel that WWE is in a golden era right now? Is it like the best it's ever been?
Do you know? I think Cody said it right. He said it's like a family. But everyone's not thinking about themselves, and it's more about the product and kind of how can we. You can see that. That's what I think of WWE's golden era is. I think a lot of the people that were in the main event scene right now came through together through whether it was OVW, FC, like NXT. They made that build up. So I think Sammy and Jay were in the first, like in terms of recruitments. I feel like they got recruited together or around the same time. There's so many Cody and Jay. They got recruited around the same time when they were youth. Cody was just a kid, and that's the thing that's so beautiful is that these guys 15 years ago were just learning their trade together, and now they are the core part of the product. That's a development that people can get behind. That's why it's the golden era. You haven't got people that stay for 5 years and dip. You've got people that are, how can I? It's not just about the short term solution. It's that it genuinely is about building a legacy in that, because there's been so many stars now. It's like, what can I do different to separate myself? Like Seth Rollins said it when he dyed his hair half blonde. He was like, everyone in NXT had long black hair, so I needed to do something to stand out first. And that's why he done it. And I feel that's it, man. It's about everyone is just now about the moments, but not just for themselves, for everyone.
Hear that, man. Hear that, man. It's in a good place, man. It's in a good place. Wicked, bro. Man, I want to thank you so much.
Thank you, guys, man. Thank you so much.
You know, definitely, bro. You've been a well of knowledge and information, man. You know, and definitely been on an inspirational journey. Loving the work that you're doing, bro. You know, it's really positive. And yeah, definitely looking forward to have you back at some point as well. You know, so we can chop it up, talk wrestling some more. And all that.
Yeah, you're only down the road from me, man. So if you hear screams coming during Monday Night Raw, it's something crazy is happening.
I'm in Tottenham, so we're local.
Me and Magic J are looking to do some wrestling training this year, man. You're saying you just turned 30. If you're feeling a bit active, man, I think there's one.
I'm there.
Yeah,
I'm there.
Well, I've been speaking
ready.
to Jonathan from Hustle Wrestling, because I might be doing some work for him because I've got a printing company. So like I should be going up there one of these Sundays to their training camp in Enfield.
Yeah.
Bro, Enfield's easy for me to get to it. But just to say, this is one story I'm going to tell you about why I never became a wrestler. Yeah. And it's about, so I nearly broke my neck as a kid because of trying to impersonate Jeff Hardy. So I used to come in the room, jump onto the sofa arm and swanton onto the sofa, yeah?
My gosh.
Yeah. So literally both. I used to do the cleanest swanton as well. Jeff ain't got nothing on me, trust. I came in one day, I was obviously in secondary school by this time, gone to do it. My legs hit the ceiling and my head just come down onto the floor. And I remember my mom coming back like an hour later, like, what have you done? She was like, you tried to do your wrestling thing and hurt yourself, innit? And I was like, yeah. She was like, I ain't helping you up. She was like, you need to learn your lesson now. And I remember her helping me up like half hour later. She was like, I think it's broken. I was like, no, I can move my neck and stuff. She just said to me, she was like, I don't think you've got what it takes to go and become a wrestler. So maybe try to stick to the football thing.
See, that's your origin story right there, bro. That's your origin story right there, bro. You know?
No, Mum always said to me, go and do what you want. She said to me, I remember it was always whether it was wrestling or football, but I'm coming out with a bandage and an ice pack. Oh, I've got to go and have stitches and this and that. Mum used to say to me, she was like, you're just a walking medical bill, isn't it? Like she says, I used to put her through hell, man. She'd be like, I'm going to football Sunday, Mum. She'd be like, all right, cool. Don't injure yourself. Like, just be careful. And if you feel like you're pulling up, come up, because that was my issue as a kid. Is no, I'm playing 90 minutes. I'm not coming up. I'm just gonna run. Yeah, pulled up so many times.
Yeah.
Run, and my mom used to say to me, she's like, just chill out. Like, you ain't got to play. You know what I mean? So like, if you feel like you're injured, don't play, innit?
Yeah.
And that was the thing that I could never get as a kid. But then, man, doing a swanton and nearly killing myself,
Yeah.
but it taught me a lesson.
We all done it before, boy. My mum used to kick my ass, stop jumping on my sofas. You don't buy me anyone.
I think everyone. This is what I always say: is that wrestling fans all live the same childhood, just from a different camera lens. If that makes sense, is we all just kind of live the same stuff. But it's, bro, you watch Jeff Hardy, yeah. It's like I remember hitting my cousin in the nose, yeah, and his nose was bleeding everywhere, man. And I was like to him, "Don't cry, don't scream, don't make a noise." And he was like, "But it hurts." And I was like, "Don't be a snitch."
There we have it, man. So where can we find you? Where can we find you? The social medias, what you doing there?
All my social media is Deltefik, so DELTEVFIK. Turkish origin. That's why I'm in North London. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. I'm starting to get back on Twitch soon, and you can find me posting a lot more wrestling content.
Right?
Yeah, man, I'm a massive gamer. I like to play a bit of FIFA, Call of Duty. All of my boys will get smoked at WWE 2K. If you want to know about my origin story, yeah, it's Theory slapping me at WWE 2K. Yeah, because since that day, I've been grinding it. I'm like I play it on master mode now. Like next time Theory wants it, he can get the smoke.
Wow.
But before we leave, before we wrap up, what is your favorite WWE, WWF wrestling game?
2 games, can't decide between the two. 2008 and Here Comes the Pain. Easy.
Damn. So you looking forward to 2K24 then when it drops, yeah?
I am, man. Do you know what? Shout out to Skillet, because I didn't buy the last one, yeah? And there was a quiz at the SummerSlam watch party.
Yeah,
and I ended up winning it. Was you there as well?
Was it? Yes.
How you think that? Just fucking guys, bro.
That day, yeah, at the Watching Spirits for SummerSlam, that's the day when I had the epiphany to start this. And I messaged Candice the next day, and I said to him, I want us to do a podcast, a wrestling podcast. We was grafting, looking at names, and we just thought of Macho Man, Hulk Hogan, when it was a tag team in 88, 89.
But everyone's got a story like that from that night, you know. So the thing I told you about the group chat, so there's people on our table that I came with one of my friends and my boy Mike come. I knew Skillet obviously from before, but bro, the amount of different people that you'd meet at those events, man, everyone just loved wrestling. And I've made friends from that night. Like a young guy called Tyrese, man, he's 20. Every time he talks about wrestling, I'm like, bro, you don't even know about the Attitude Era. You weren't around for that. But the thing is, but that's what we like. It's just about people from all different outlooks now having conversations about wrestling, man, and like being at those events. But yeah, man, the best one I won that night, Big Eddie Guerrero, bro, greatest wrestler of all time. I'll have no slander chatting on Eddie's name.
Amazing. The GOAT, man, Eddie Guerrero, man. Love that, bro. Love that. Man, well, we look forward to the next watch-along party, bro, so we can all reconnect again, man, as well.
Yeah, man. 100%. We'll have to link up for the next one, man.
Yeah, amazing, bro. Man, before we go, bro, we always leave with the handshake, bro. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah. Wicked. Awesome, bro.
Thank you so much. For anyone who's listening as well, make sure you check these guys out. They're doing amazing things. And just help them to keep growing, and then we can all make a killing out of this, man.
Awesome, bro. All day, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, guys.
Take care,
guys. Thank you.
All the best.
Hello, wrestling fans. This is DJ Magic J with Scanduce, the Hip Hop Original. And we are the Mega Powers TV. And what we're giving you is exclusive pro wrestling content. You get interviews, you get podcasts, and a whole bunch of other things. So just remember, peoples, like, comment, share, subscribe to your friends, your family, your enemies, and your loved ones. So just remember, we are the Mega Powers Podcast TV. and we do everything else wrestling. The Mega Powers.
Two mega powers meeting here tonight.
The Mega Powers, brother.
The mega, yeah, the mega, yeah, the mega powers, yeah. Mega powers, yeah.